by now, Britney Spears fans, the Britney Army, Britney's bitches, the Spearleaders, however you choose to self-identify, already know how this show works, bitch. It's been almost 5 years now since the 36-year-old pop icon's Piece of Me residency first debuted in Las Vegas. And in that time, as the strips become stuffed with scores of fellow pop divas staging their own shows, the productions largely stayed the same, apart from a few key setlist switch-ups, an alternate opening, mermaid hair, impromptu live performances of Bonnie Raitt's Something to Talk About, wardrobe malfunctions and live outbursts aplenty. Following a tour of Asia last summer, she finally did sneak away to the Philippines. Britney's taking her Vegas show out on the road again, one more time, if you will, with the limited U.S. East Coast and European leg of what is, allegedly, the show's final run. The whispers of a brand new Vegas residency, set to kick off in 2019, are not so much whispers as they are screams at this point. We're basically just awaiting the announcement date. Related, Las Vegas, Mariah Carey. Still, it's safe to say that Piece of Me, as we know it, anyway, will end after 2018. Seeing the whole show fit snugly inside of the intimate event center at the Borgata Hotel Casino. It is, truthfully, just a piece of the full-scale Vegas show, a largely stripped-down staging featuring her long-running crew of talented dancers, a tiny band, laser lights and the living legend herself. Everything about the show's been cinched, including the wardrobe, pared down to almost exclusively an array of strappy, skimpy swimsuits and a crop top plucked from her own closet, which she recently modeled in a photo shoot in her backyard. Speaking of cinched, there's also the hair. Let's talk about pornography. Exactly one song deep into the set, Brit whips it up into a ponytail. She fixates on it for the duration of the show, adjusting it several times per song to the point where it takes over for choreography. Is a stylist unwilling to fashion her a more durable pony, or rebellion? The world may never know. Related, Las Vegas, J. Lo, most of the props that added to the spectacle in Vegas didn't make it on the road. There's a massive tree-sized hole in the opening of Toxic. Most glaringly, 2 songs get the axe. As a result, her signature In the Zone ballad, Every Time, which required a giant pair of angel wings to float from the rafters, and I Love Rock and Roll, performed while writhing on a giant guitar. At moments, Brit boldly performs like the props are there. Anyway, during Do You Wanna Come Over, she repeatedly latches onto a pole overhead that doesn't exist. Just use your imagination. To fill out the gaps, B-Girl added 2 tracks from her most recent release, Change Your Mind, No Seas Courts, a Glory fan favorite, and Should Have Been Single, and Clumsy, a more polarizing pick. Unsurprisingly, B's at her best with the new stuff. She craves new material to perform, as she bluntly revealed in a recent rehearsal video, so she particularly comes alive when the Glory section arrives about midway in. That's where the newness starts and ends, though, for fellow stans who have shelled out their life savings to see this show over a dozen times in Vegas or trolled the 2 tracks, and a brief, jarring sample of Migos' Walk It Talk It tossed into the middle of I'm a Slave for You, for 30 seconds, there's nothing you haven't seen before. The show's arc remains the same as when it launched years ago, and expectations should be set accordingly. Related, Las Vegas, Ricky Martin. Fans are so familiar with the flow at this point that one is now going viral, as Britney prepared to launch into Gimme More, at the same venue 2 days before, kicking off with her iconic It's Britney, Bitch. One fan masterfully delivered a yelp of WHOSIT, at just the right moment. It was so good, even Britney broke out into a giggle. If you follow her on Instagram, you've seen a fair amount of this show, as well, even down to Change Your Mind, No Seas Courts, features the same choreography she's been flaunting from her home gym since April. There should be no illusion that this is a huge or inventive production. It's her most stripped-down stage show since the MM's tour, honestly. Good news is that Britney is looking happier, healthier and hotter than ever, and Piece of Me, which has always been a fun in every iteration, is still a blast. If you're a fan to any degree, you'll absolutely enjoy yourself. And based on the excitable chatter from first-timers pouring out of the venue, merrily sing-songing "Baby One More Time" and lining up for teas at the merch stand, Britney delivered exactly the show they came to see. Related, Las Vegas, Backstreet Boys. From what we were allowed in to see from her social presence, Britney appears to be living her best life off stage. She's already given so much of herself after over 2 decades in the entertainment industry that even supplying a piece of her at this stage in the game seems, honestly, generous. It's the pure pop joy of the music plucked from her hit-filled spiritual discography, an eclectic array of remixes of nostalgic classics, unexpected but amazing deep cuts. Reminder, Breathe on Me, and Touch of My Hand are still being performed in 2018 pop culture. Nods, a Missy Elliott dance break, and personal pics from her most recent album, and the sweet-hearted, sexy yet silly living legend hair flipping and arm signaling at the heart of the show, which makes the Piece of Me experience worthwhile again and again. And being the unpredictable enigma that she is, no show is ever truly the same when it comes to her few, personal interactions with the crowd. This place reminds me of Louisiana. Are you guys ready to break the ice? She gleefully announced before launching to the Blackout single early into the night. What? Was that shade, or simply meant in earnest? As with all things Britney, there are only more questions than answers, forever leaving us wanting more. We keep on dancing till the world ends, anyway. Photo via Getty.